What is up, guys, and welcome to today's video. For today's video I thought we'd do a quick preview and match prediction for the German Supercup, also known as the DFL Supercup, that will be taking place on the 12th of August. Now, this is a meeting of the Bundesliga champions, being Bayern Munich, and then the champions of the DFB Pokal, being Red Bull Leipzig. The last match between these two teams was in May, on the 20th, in the Bundesliga, and it ended as a 3-1 victory for the visitors, who were Leipzig. Bayern opened the scoring in the 25th minute. Standard Bayern Munich stuff. Silky play, Serge Gnabry getting the ball on the left wing and driving the ball past the keeper at the near post to put Bayern in the lead. But in the second half, things just fell apart for Bayern. In the 64th minute, Leipzig mounted a counter-attack, and Laimer managed to get the ball in the Bayern box and put it past the keeper. Then in the 76th minute, Nkunku was brought down in the Bayern box, and Leipzig were awarded a penalty. He stepped up and made no mistake, and from there, it sort of looked like momentum had just swung, because in the 86th minute, somebody in the Bayern box was adjudged to have handled the ball, and Leipzig were given a second penalty. Szoboszlai stood up, took the penalty, and he also drove it past the keeper, making no mistake. Bayern fans could understandably feel hard done by that result. It was two penalties that sort of just turned the fixture on its head. But at the end of the day, Bayern still managed to win the Bundesliga. Mind you, this result really gave them a major heart attack, because Bayern would now go into the final round of fixtures second behind Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund just needed to win that last match and they would have been Bundesliga champions, but they managed to mess that one up as well. I think it was against Augsburg. Yeah, Bayern ended up winning the Bundesliga overall. But these two teams have also met in the German Supercup last season, which ended up as a 5-3 victory for Bayern Munich. This is not really a favorable fixture for Leipzig. I think the last two meetings have been positive for them. Obviously, this one win and then a draw before that. But before that, it's just been Bayern right through. So already, it doesn't look that great for Leipzig. So on our match analysis for Bayern Munich, you gotta understand that Bayern Munich is by far the best team in the Bundesliga on paper. There is no doubt about it. I think if you add how much Bayern, or if you take how much Bayern's squad is worth, it's worth more or less how much the second and third best team in the Bundesliga, being, I think it's Borussia Dortmund and Bayer Leverkusen. Their value combined is Bayern's team. And that says a lot about Bayern Munich. I mean, last season was just all over the show for them. They started the season with, I think it was Nagelsmann as their coach. And then things just took a turn for the worst, where instead of just charging towards the Bundesliga as you would expect, things just fell apart for them. And they managed to sort of stumble over it. But at the end of the day, they were champions nonetheless. Mind you, Bayern had to sort of change their coach first to, I think it was Thomas Tuchel, who left Chelsea and joined Bayern, and that was a major factor in why they were able to sort of just limp over the finish line of the Bundesliga as champions. Three players I think we need to watch for Bayern in this fixture. Obviously, Serge Gnabry, who opened the scoring for them last time they played against Leipzig. He was Bayern's top scorer with 17 goals last season, and 14 of those goals came in the league. I think Bayern don't really have an out-and-out number 9. I think Choupo-Moting is playing there right now, but I think Gnabry is more of their out for goals. Second, I think we've got to look at Jamal Musiala. Musiala was the player who scored that Bundesliga winning goal for Bayern on the final day of fixtures last season. As a youngster, he has been so instrumental in them, getting assists, getting goals. I think it was 17 assists and 17 goals or something like that last season. Musiala is somebody we need to keep a spotlight on. And finally, I think Joshua Kimmich. Bayern often have these players in center midfield who just conduct things and play as an orchestrator. I think Bastian Schweinsteiger, somebody like that, and Joshua Kimmich fits the bill. He's very good at reading the game and at distributing the ball. He's been on a lot of teams' wish list during this transfer market, but he's chosen to stay at Bayern. So I think he'll be very crucial for them going forward this entire season. Leipzig is a bit of a tricky one to sit here and analyze. The problem with Leipzig is their three best players would undoubtedly have been Guardiola, who decided to jump ship and leave to Man City. And then Nkunku, who was their top scorer, also jumped ship and decided to join Chelsea. And finally, Szoboszlai, who scored that final penalty in the previous match against Bayern, who also jumped ship and now is at Liverpool. So for Leipzig already, the deck is stacked heavily against them, having lost arguably their three best players. But they do still have players that I think we can talk about here. I think Dani Olmo is such an important player for them. In midfield, he's a lot of creativity and a lot of vision in those passes. Typical Spanish player, somebody we got to keep an eye on. Timo Werner, who was called a flop at Chelsea, came back to Germany, did the most with Leipzig, and he was their second highest goal scorer. I think he had 16 goals or something like that. But yeah, Timo Werner, another one to watch. But like I said, for Red Bull Leipzig, it's a difficult fixture. You lose your best players, and now you got to go against arguably the best team in your country. Okay, as I said multiple times in the analysis for Leipzig, this is not an easy fixture for them. Obviously, odds are stacked heavily against them. History is stacked against them. On paper, Bayern have a better player in every position than Leipzig do. I think, if Leipzig play on the counter-attack, they have a chance to catch Bayern the way they did previously. And I think if Bayern are arrogant about things the way they were in the previous fixture, they could let it slip. But I don't see that happening this season. I think Bayern are more disciplined this season. I think Bayern know what they need to do. Under Thomas Tuchel, they have a coach who sort of knows how to get the best out of these players. And I expect Bayern to just sort of whitewash them. No disrespect to Leipzig, but this is not an easy fixture for them. So I'm putting my cards on Bayern Munich here. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.